Let's analyze a specific discourse community, that of a diner, as described in Tony Mirabelli's article, Learning to Serve. If you haven't done so already, open the PDF file and read Mirabelli's article from page 543 to the end of the first paragraph on 548. We'll analyze the diner using Swales' 6 characteristics of discourse communities, the same characteristics we've been using all through this module. First, members of a discourse community have a broadly agreed upon set of common goals. The members of a diner community, described by Mirabelli, are servers, cooks, customers, managers. The goals they share are to eat and serve food, to move customers through efficiently without rushing, and customer satisfaction. Second, discourse communities have a shared forum or ways for members to communicate with one another. Note that the communication can be both verbal and nonverbal. In addition to reading the written word, servers must also be able to read their customers. For instance, Mirabelli tells the story of a regular customer, Al, who always came in, had the same thing to eat, sat in the same place, never looked at the menu, always talked with the other customers and the waitress and the cooks. But one night, Al came in not alone, but joined by his son, daughter-in-law, and granddaughter. Rather than sitting at the counter, they sat in a booth. The server recognized those nonverbals and realized that this was a different situation than the usual one and treated the situation differently. Communication between members in a community happens in multiple ways. Third, members of a discourse community interact with each other, and their role in the community determines their typical behaviors. For instance, customers order, cooks prepare, servers bring food. What are the consequences of behaving like these roles dictate? Well, think about what would happen if you didn't. What if you went to a restaurant and the expectations were different than usual? At the restaurant The Bad Waitress in Minneapolis, customers seat themselves, view the menu that's already on the table, write down their order, and take it to the counter. The only thing the server does is deliver the food. Sometimes, in a diner, customers can question the menu. Mirabelli tells the story of a mom who asked whether her child could get only carrots instead of the mixed vegetables. Other times, waiters control what customers order. Mirabelli quotes a waiter who said, "A lot of times when people ask about the menu, I just make it sound so elaborate that they just leave their order up to me." Community members typically stay in their roles, but there can be exceptions that change the power and control of each member. In these ways, members of a discourse community communicate with one another. Fourth, discourse communities have genres with community-specific conventions. Let's define some of these terms. A genre is a specific type of text. One common to diners is the menu. Conventions are characteristics of the genre. For instance, menus typically have categories, descriptions of food, and prices. Sometimes customers are familiar with what's listed on the menu, and they don't even need to look at it, like Al. Other times, customers know what a menu is, but need to read the menu to make a decision. Regardless, members become familiar with genres and use them to get things done. Fifth, members of a discourse community use specialized vocabulary. Sometimes all members are familiar with the vocabulary in the community, and that allows them some equality. When customers arrive, they're asked if they have a reservation, the hostess seats them. Everybody knows these terms. Other times, however, some members have more knowledge than others. Mirabelli describes servers defining terms that were on the menu. This leads me to the sixth characteristic. Over time, members change and shift status, like customers do when the server explains an ingredient. Servers can also change status. For instance, a server may have been waiting tables for years, but is new to a particular diner. Harvey learned that it was possible to substitute carrots only for mixed vegetables. Being a member of a discourse community is a fluid situation in which one's role can evolve. Mirabelli says that how language is spoken, read, or written is different in different contexts, and how the waiters or waitresses or customers read the situation and interact, is carefully constructed and shows literacy. Discourse communities are complex systems. An analysis can help us see each part in detail and understand how the whole system works together.